Hello and welcome to another edition of Woman to Woman. I am your host, Anntricia Bray Smith, author, educator, and public speaker. I am the voice for those who suffer in silence. It is indeed a pleasure and a blessing to be here with you today. As today we're going to talk about the uncomforted cry, the uncomforted cry. And I know that um, we thought that 2021 was coming in with just some magic and all of our issues and our problems and insecurities and betrayals and hurts and pains were going to disappear. But one thing that we found that we were okay for a little while. For a little while, we had our minds made up. We had a goal plan. We had things set in place. We wasn't going to let anything come in and bother us, only to wake up one day to realize that the pressure is on so thick that we have succumbed to whatever it is that we have to face from day to day. So today we're going to talk about the uncomforted cry. It's a situation that's going on in our homes. It's a situation that is building in our communities and just all around in our nation. There is a cry that is going out, and there seems to be no comfort for the pain that is impacting the people that we love. And so this is what we want to talk about today. We want to address the uncomforted cry and maybe try to explore what kind of solutions we can come up with to give comfort to the people in our lives that are hurting. And I've surfed social media and I've realized because there for a minute I was even fooled myself. I'm fooling myself into thinking that maybe I'm the only one with this issue. But then when you surf the pages and you listen to conversations and you see the posts and you see the interactions going back and forth, the dialogue, we realize that there is a cry going forth. And there seems to be no solutions. There seems to be no answers. And all people can say is pray about it, trust God about it. However, we're here. We are the kingdom. We are the ones that's supposed to have the answers, supposed to be equipped, supposed to be prepared to provide comfort for this creation. We're here for such a time as this, and we feel hopeless. Not only are there a generation of young adults, not only are there a generation of women who are suffering and drowning in the contents of their own pain, that are waking up in darkness, that are going through the day in darkness and go to bed in darkness, and there seems to be no light at the end of the tunnel. So we're faced with a situation that where do we go from here when the sickness doesn't go away? Where do we go from here when the dynamics of my financial situation looks hopeless? And I'm being faced with the eviction notices and wondering what we're going to do if my family has to end up on the street. What are we going to do when the depression seems to go nowhere and that it continues to weigh so heavy that the pain is so harmful that we want to just give it all up? Where do we go? Ladies, when I tell you that there is a cry that is so loud, that the need for help, the desire for something better, just for some relief, and we can't find the comfort, what do we do? Where do we go? Where do we get the help we need? Who has the answers? Who can we trust? Who can we depend on? Who can we find to give an encouraging word? Who can we find that has a little bit of light in the midst of all this darkness? And I can tell you right now, it's not easy. And the answers sometimes that we're given does not provide the solutions to the issues, the unique issues that we face. What about the doctors who have been so impacted by the things that have gone on in our nation that they can't focus on the illness that you have? They can't fit you in. They can't schedule the surgeries that you need. You have to wait. You're put on a waiting list, so to speak, because they're so bombarded by all these other elements that you have to sit and wait in pain, not knowing that you're going to succumb to the issues that you're dealing with in your physical body. What about the job that has your work week shortened because they've been hit so hard by the dynamics of the pandemic and the things that we deal with, that you depended on that income? And now you're wondering, what can you do to make those ends meet? And now you're wondering if whether or not you're going to be able to put gas in your car, pay your mortgage, and feed the kids. So you have to make sacrifices somewhere. You have to get, you're searching for answers somewhere to figure out, where is this income going to come that now you're not able to make? You're cut short. What are you going to do? How are you going to make the ends meet up? Or you're faced with depression, anxieties, and so you find no comfort for it. You're drowning in darkness. You're surrounded by darkness. You hear voices in your head telling you that you're not enough. You have people in your ear that's telling you things, clouding up your mind, and you're not finding the light that you need. And so you look for a way to minimize that pain. You look for a way to silence those voices that are going on in your head. And so you self-medicate. And when you self-medicate, you seem like, or you feel like that you're okay, until the medication that you, or the substance that you're taking in, no longer gives you that comfort. And so it keeps drawing you back in. You find yourself hallucinating. You find yourself being drawn into situations that you wake up or you look in the mirror and you wonder, who the heck am I? And so we have a cry that it's going out. It's going out into our universe. It's invading our four walls. It's invading our communities. And yet we sit hopeless. We sit helpless. We don't know what to do. We don't know who to cry out to. We don't know where that source is coming from. We don't even understand the battles that we're facing. Yes, we're in a battle. We're in a war, and we don't understand, because the faith, the foundation of our faith that we assumed, or that we thought that we were so rooted and grounded in, it's not providing us with the results that we need for right now. And so we begin to question, do we serve a right now God? We ask the question, can we trust the God we serve? Do we really have a relationship with the God we serve? Or have we been fooled all this time and not really having a connection and a relationship with God, and we've been following man all this time? Or maybe we were just religious, or maybe these cliches, they just sounded good because I didn't have to necessarily use the things that I've been taught. Or maybe I didn't understand it, or maybe I didn't gravitate to it. So now we think we're not good enough. Now we've been deceived to think that the God, our creator, the one we serve, maybe we've messed up so much along the way that he doesn't love us, or he's not concerned about us. And that can be farthest from the truth. That can be farthest from the truth. But what I do believe is that we are all, whether it's a physical ailment, whether it's something we're battling within, or maybe it's in our finances. But I believe in 2021, we are all faced with something that is much bigger than us. We're all, and maybe I haven't named whatever it is that you're dealing with or that you're fighting from day to day. And maybe it's all of those things pressed upon you. But I believe that we're all dealing with something. I believe that there's a cry so deep seated in all of us that we all have something right now that we can think of that is unsettling in us. And that there is a cry so deep within us that we're not comforted. And no matter where we look, no matter where we turn, no matter where we go, we're surrounded by that issue and by those voices in our head and by those thoughts that are telling us, you may as well just give up. You may as well just throw in the towel. You may as well just forget about that God who you say that you serve, who is a right now God. And bigger than that, I believe that the wars and the battles that we're up against, it's not coming from another man or another woman. It's coming from spiritual forces that we have no clue where they have even started from. We have no clue. It's come on so thick. It's like it snuck up on us. It's like we've been asleep all this time, and now we wake up, and now these forces are against us, and we don't even know what weapons to use in this war. We don't even know what battles to fight in this war. So we can go to the hospital and in hopes that the surgery is going to solve all of our physical ailments. We can bring in other streams of income into our households, thinking that it's going to resolve all of our financial issues. We can look for the mental health and look for medication and look for substance to give us the comfort that we seek in our mental space. And still we find ourselves fighting what seems to be a losing battle. We find ourselves still fighting what seems to be a losing battle. So what do we do? Where do we find that comfort? Where are the answers for our cries that have gone out and has yielded us little to no comfort? Where the pressure seemed to pile on so deep, the physical ailments, the hurt, the sickness, the disease begins to eat away even at our bones, to where our finances are being stretched so far that we don't even know where our next meal is coming from. We don't even know if we're going to be able to pay our mortgage. We don't even know if we're going to be put out on the street. Or when we've self-medicated to the point that the addiction is drawing us in so deep that we just feel like that we're so far gone that there is no hope for us. Yes, I tell you that the cries are deep. And us with our sophisticated minds, we fool ourselves into thinking that depression has no weight on me. We feel like depression can't defeat us, but yet in our sophisticated, grown, educated minds, we're thinking of the same thing, just thinking about more sophisticated ways to accomplish ending it all. To make it look like that accident was really an accident and not intentional. So we don't go and get the illegal stuff, we get the prescribed stuff and we self-medicate and overdose on that. Not saying that we are addicted, but because it's been prescribed to us that it's okay. And we're doing nothing but fooling ourselves, because at the end of the day, when we go to sleep, we're in darkness. We wake up in darkness. We're making decisions in darkness. The darkness keeps drawing us into those situations that we don't necessarily want to be in. We feel hopeless. The physical elements keep us hopeless. The financial elements keep us hopeless. And no matter where we turn, if we go to try to borrow the money, if we go to try to another state to find somebody to give us medical attention, if we go to the institutions, the inpatients and things like that, we still have no comfort for the cries that are deeply set within us. So where do we find the answers for what we need? Where do we find it? And guys, I'm sitting here, I consider myself the voice for those suffering in silence. And yet sometimes I have to reach into my own silence and find a voice for these hard things that we have to talk about. I consider myself resourceful. I consider myself a problem solver. But yet, there are some things that I'm faced with right now, today, in real time. And I can sit here and I can openly tell you, I can be transparent and let you know that the things that we're up against in 2021, there are some things that I absolutely have no answer for. I have no answers. There are some things that I've been faced with. There are some things that have been brought to my attention. There are some things that I see on the social media pages and the dialogues going back and forth between people I know, the people in my community, people in my family, people that are hurting, that I wish I could just snap my fingers and have the answers and make everything right. I wish that there were words that I can say that would draw them out of their darkness into the marvelous light, but I can't. I wish that there was something, a magic formula that I can mix up together in my kitchen and give it to somebody and they can take it and it just make all their problems disappear. And that they can see that they're beautiful. They can see that they have not done anything that would set them apart from our Creator. And that they can understand that just because they're where they are right now in their sickness and their depression and their financial situation, that time is ever changing. And just because they're right here, right now, does not mean that they're going to be right here, right now, always. This is just the season that they're going through. This is just a battle that they're facing. This is just the war that they're up against right now. And if they could just hold on just a little while longer, everything is going to be all right. This too will pass. I wish that just telling someone that they were created and born for such a time as this, and that they have greatness inside of them, and that they have to go through what they're going through because this is only a test, and if they just hold on, everything's going to be all right. Light is coming. There is light at the end of it all. You may come out with battle scars. It may take you going through this and fighting through that and suffering through this just so you can be a witness, because it's divinely connected to your purpose in life. I wish I could say it, and I wish I could say it and believe it and make them believe it and make everything that we're dealing with right now okay. I wish I had the answers for that little girl who's crying out, whose pain is so deep set that she has no comfort. And so she drowns herself in whatever. I wish I had the answers. I wish I had the voice of comfort to tell you who are in your bed suffering with all these physical ailments, and you can't get the proper health care and assistance that you need, and your body is racking with pain and filled with sores, and you can't breathe, and you're swole all up, and not only have you having to worry with this, but then the mental aspect of that physical ailment that wears in your mind that tells you to just give up. I wish I had a magic formula. I wish I had words of encouragement that just flip the switch in your life and everything is better, and that you don't no longer have those thoughts, and that you know that help is on the way, and that as you're suffering, waiting on that help, that doors are opening for you and on your behalf. But the reality of it is, we're up against something, and it's not in this human physical form. Your cries appear to be uncomforted because we can't see it with our natural eyes, with this natural mind. We don't have the answers. There's something in each of us to where we're all feeling hopeless. We're all feeling helpless. We're all feeling pain. We're all facing battles that we just don't have the answers for. And no matter what I say, no matter what you say, no matter how we're able to come together and try to encourage one another and lift one another up and to say it's okay not to be okay, no matter how much we do that, we're still not comforted. Those thoughts, that darkness, those financial pressures, those physical ailments are still pressing on us so deep that even when we think we have a voice, even in those moments to where we feel just a little bit better and we get a little bit of ease, even though time continues to tick by from day to day, sometimes we feel like we're so far deep seated in the issue, and that our cries and the pains and the addictions and the hardships and the financial burdens and the physical ailments are so deep that not even our God is concerned about us. I know you understand what I'm talking about. I know that even though you hear the words from this broadcast or this podcast, you still don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. And no matter how many motivational speakers you listen to, no matter how many ministers you listen to on the radio or on the television, you still, no matter how many books you read, you still find yourself in a situation where you're questioning your very own existence. You question, how can a God that is so loving, how can a God that created you allow you to go through the things and suffer through the things that you're facing right now in real time? Could it be that he's trying to get our attention? Could it be that he's trying to shift our mindsets? Could it be that we've even forgotten that the blood sacrifice? Could it be that we've forgotten that everything he suffered here on earth, that we had to bear some of those things as well, and that we're not left out? There's nothing that we can do that could separate us from our Creator. There's nothing we can do that's so bad. There's nothing that we can do that could keep us from his love, could draw us away from the blood sacrifice. He had us on his mind. We serve a living God. And yet we get up each day just going through the motions of life. Have we really tapped into what that looks like? And if he is a living God and he is within me, then there ought to be some life about me. There ought to be something in me that is interceding on my behalf, especially in those deep-seated places, especially in those cries that I'm crying that's so deep and so emotional, and it's so dark that I can't find the comfort anywhere. But guys, I just believe that no matter what we're up against, and no matter how deep the pain and the cries and the uncertainty seem, that we just got to find something. We just have to find some piece of our life that's not dead yet and hang on to it. I believe that our environment plays a big role. We're looking for answers for the issues and the problems that we're up against. And we haven't did anything in our environment different. We're not spending more time in meditation, more time by ourselves. We can't stand our own thoughts. We can't even hear our own thoughts because of the voices and the things that are going on in our heads. We don't desire to hear anything good. We're drawn to those negative things. We're drawn to those dark places. We're drawn to our addictions. We're drawn to focusing on our pains and the elements. We're drawn to that financial pressure. And we see no hope. We're hopeless. All we can hear is our cry. And all we know that the more we cry, the more our cries go unanswered. So I'm telling you, if that's you today, I know that there is no magic formula. I know that there is no words that I can say that's going to resolve everything that you're dealing with today, right now, in real time. But I will encourage you as best as I can to say, just hold on. Because time is ever changing, because the seasons are ever changing, take one moment at a time. Take 1 second at a time. Take 1 minute at a time. And just hang on just a little while longer. Because truth of the matter is, you're up against something that is bigger than you. But it is not bigger than your Creator. And I believe in times such as right now, as you're dealing with, in all your ailments, in all your frustration, in all your darkness, and all your pain, I believe that you've made it to today, not by your own strength, but because your Creator is the one that's carrying you through. You woke up this morning with that ailment. You've been going through the day with this ailment. You'll lay down tonight with this ailment. But it has not taken you out. You're still here. That lets me know that there is purpose for you. There's purpose for your life. There's purpose. Hang on. Hang on in there. We're all going through. And if it takes us linking together and just reaching out and just sharing a smile, or just using our voice to say, you matter. You have purpose. You are created for such a time as this. You're here right now because your creator is bigger than whatever it is that you're dealing with. And I know that the pressures run deep. I know that the pain is deep. I know that the darkness is deep seated. I know the thoughts and the things that's going on in your mind seem to be drowning and overtaking you, but you're still here. You're still here right now, today. You're still here. And that's something to celebrate. I don't have the words. I don't have the answers. I don't have the formula to give you relief from the cries that you have. I know that they're uncomforted. I know that they seem to consume you. I understand that. I'm no different. There's nothing about me that separates me that makes my situation any different than yours. I have cries that are uncomforted. I have thoughts. I have purpose. And I realize that, but even knowing that, I'm still bombarded with such hurt, such pain, such oppositions. And no amount of words are giving me comfort. My feelings don't give me comfort. My thoughts don't give me comfort. Even I find myself being deceived, and I find myself with thoughts that don't line up to what I know. And so I can fall into the trap of those emotions. I can fall into the traps of what my thoughts are telling me, or I can just take a pause and back up. And instead of trying to make it through the day, just make it through that next moment. Just make it through that next second. Just make it through that next minute, that next hour. Realizing that time is ever changing. The seasons and the tides of life are ever changing. And if I could just hold on, if I could just find just one little thing, doesn't have to be a big thing, one broken piece, one string to hang on to just to make it through another day, I know that I'm that much closer to my breakthrough. I'm that much closer to my body being healed. I'm that much closer to financial independence and financial freedom. I'm that much closer to breaking free from addictions. I'm that much closer to having a mind that is healthy and whole. So yes, we all have cries that right now we don't have the answers for. We can't find the comfort, and nobody seems to have the answer. But let me encourage you today to find just one little thing. It doesn't have to be big at all, to give you hope enough to just hold on just a little while longer, because you matter. And I believe that the things that you're going through is divinely connected to your purpose in life. And yes, it seems hard right now, but you're going to look back and you're going to see how far you've come. And you're going to say, regardless, I've given it all I got. And in those times where I thought that I was pressing through all these hard times and all these hard situations and drowning myself and surrounded by what seems like darkness all around me, I realized that it was not by my might. It was not something that I was doing all alone. I realized that it was the Creator who lives in me, that gives me life, that was carrying me all along. And you're going to be a testament to that young woman or that young man. You're going to be a testament to that sister or that brother. You're going to be a testament to that person on your job. that says if she can make it and she can overcome and she can still discover her purpose in the midst of it all, so can I. So I encourage you today. And I want you to know that no matter what you're going through, that I am concerned about you and that you are in my thoughts, you are in my prayers, and that you are loved. So until next time, I am your host, Anntricia Bray Smith, author, educator, and public speaker.